Hi, I'm Erik Linask, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, here at ComTel 2011. This morning, I'm talking with Drew Allgeier, who is with a company called Contingent. Drew, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Erik, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
So, I think this is the first time that we've had a chance to do a video with you. Can you start off, give me a quick overview of who Contingent is?
In a nutshell, for 27 years, we've identified ourselves as an IT infrastructure support company, meaning anything pertaining to the deployment and support of the LAN and WAN infrastructure. And so that encompasses structured cabling, device deployment, and then the ongoing break fix of that infrastructure as needed.
So, what geographically, what regions do you work in?
Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati actually. Geographically, we operate currently in 75 countries around the globe and growing by the nature of our clients who have locations around the globe. And then in North America, all of North America with the 2-hour SLA response time, with the ability to put a tech on site anywhere in Canada, Mexico, or the US in 2 hours.
To address any issues?
Any issues. Break fix, it could be something as simple as remediating a problem with a network device, a router, a switch, or doing a hot swap of a piece of gear, or fixing some cabling that needed to be replaced or so forth. Yes, absolutely. Could even go down to the level of faxes and printers. Anything that really hangs off of the LAN, we can install it and then provide ongoing break fix support for it.
Are these your own in-house techs or are they outsourced?
Our model is it's a combination of both. We have what we call our W2 super techs. If you walk into Contingent headquarters, what you'll see is really a huge operations center and a huge logistics facility, and then a third group, which is our engineering group. Okay, we have them at headquarters. We have some of them decentralized, but our ability to deploy services globally and all across North America is through our 1099 model, through our certified partners. And our certified partners, it's really one of our biggest competitive differentiators, is that over the 27 years, we have mastered the art of building our database of field technicians so that when a client says, I have an issue at store number such and such or at location whatever, we can simply put in a zip code and pull up every tech within a 25, 50 mile, and 100 mile radius and know exactly what their qualifications are, when the last time we used them are, what their quality rankings are. And so we go through a very stringent process of vetting, training, and providing ongoing quality management for these technicians. And again, we refer to them as certified partners, and that's how we're able to do it. So to quantify it, you're looking at about 45,000 actual feet on the street in North America, and that's comprised through about 5,000 member companies or really IT integrators, big VARs and interconnects.
How do you make sure that 45,000 people stay in tune with the rapidly changing technology environment?
One of the ways we do that is through our enterprise management system, which is called ILEX. We're constantly communicating with them. They are logging on every day. We have mind share from them because we have very unique payment terms. We're in this industry, technicians are frequently have to wait a long time to get paid. And we have what we call Minutemen as one example, who are paid on 14 net terms and so forth. So you gain mind share and leverage and are able to hold them to standards of execution and operating procedures because they get paid more quickly on a more routine basis, number one. Number two, because we have so much work and we do hundreds and thousands of dispatches a month, we're constantly feeding them revenue. So that's part one. Part two is through the quality rankings, every single time a truck rolls to a site, that technician, that job is rated at a minimum internally by our project coordinator or project manager who's managing that dispatch. And it's the POKE it's an acronym called POKE, were they professional, on time, knowledgeable, did they have the right equipment, was the job done? And then based upon how that tech performed, maybe he forgot his butt pack, or maybe he was 15 minutes late or whatever. This is all heavily documented. That technician's ranking then goes up or down, may or may not be used in future jobs and so forth. So it's a constant, vigilant, ongoing process of managing them, training them, and then indoctrinating them with installation scripts according to a particular client's needs, be it a hosted IP provider or a network provider or whomever.
So in any given situation, you're choosing techs based on geography, the rating, and a skill set as well?
Exactly. So if someone says, I have an Allgeier system, stop Eric real quick and mention something I guess it would be important to know. We are equipment agnostic and we are service provider agnostic. So that, now to answer your question, if a service provider calls and says, I have Cisco infrastructure and I need someone that has Cisco knowledge, or it's an Avaya infrastructure, or what have you, or it's non-telephony and it's office equipment, then yes, when we pull up in our database for that zip code, for that area, for that radius, it's going to show us which techs have those. Maybe it's electrical skill set, maybe it's wireless access point, and so forth. It will tell us exactly what their skill set and qualifications are, or credentials from a manufacturer, and that's how we'll select them. Yep.
Who are your typical customers?
Typical customers: Bob Evans, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, Hardee's, IBM, Sprint, M5 Networks, Smooth Zone IP Communications. It runs the gamut. XO Communications, Global Crossing, Reliance Globalcom. Those are some in the service provider space. And then in the retail space, the list goes on and on and on. Really anybody that has typically 150 or more locations. We prefer in the thousands of locations because it fits our model a little bit better. But Procter & Gamble, a lot of pretty much any national chain that you can think of, we've been in their stores at one point or another. Yeah.
And the benefit for them, of course, is that they can work with one provider nationally.
That's one benefit, is a consolidation. The other is a predictable cost model.
Right.
And we do this. We have a term within our company we call it micro variabilizing, and what that means is, for any given activity, be it install a router, install a switch, install a piece of Cat5 from 0 to 100 feet or 0 to 300 feet, whatever that activity is, we break it down to the nth degree to know from a material and time basis, almost like a time motion study, exactly how long it's going to take that tech to perform that activity, exactly how much time it takes from the project coordinator to manage that process, and that's how we produce our pricing. Therefore, our client receives a predictable cost model, and they know that anytime they need that particular activity, so think in terms of a menu-based selection of activities, whenever they need a particular activity performed, they already know what the cost is. That is, for retailers, we refer to that product as StoreWorks, which is retail integration. For non-retail, we refer to it as LANWorks. And for service providers, we refer to the product as MacWorks. So that's the predictable menu-based pricing. The other core product would be NetMedics, and that is the time and material dispatch. What's neat about that is that even though it's variable because you don't know how long the tech's going to be there or how soon you need them, you do know what skill level you're going to need and how quickly you need the tech on site. Therefore, our clients have a rate schedule, and they know when they submit a dispatch request, immediately I need a Field Tech 3 or a Field Tech 2 or a Field Engineer, and I need them in 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, or next day. They know what their hourly rate's going to be. So they like it because it's a very predictable cost model on top of the consolidation.
Are you seeing any trends in either direction in terms of the need for tech services of technicians over last 6 to 12 months?
Without question, changes in technology in the retail environment for point of sale systems, digital signage, huge. As you know, I mean, you walk into a KFC or Yum is another client of ours. You walk into a KFC and you see how everything is digitized now. Obviously, in the IP telephony space, we continue to pick up more. Well, as you well know, so many, whether they're legacy CLEX or upstarts or whatever, everybody's doing hosted IP, right? Mm-hmm. Huge growth sector. And then I would say those are probably the top. Yeah. Well, the other thing that I haven't mentioned is managed services, and that has become a huge. That has probably outpaced our core sales in the past 18 months threefold. And how we define managed services is we're provisioning a circuit, we are managing that circuit, we're typically installing the edge firewall device and providing a truly managed network. We're able to do that because, again, being service provider agnostic, we will procure bandwidth, and it's typically sub T1, so if you think in terms of a retailer, they need a broadband connection, maybe replace a couple POS lines. We're not talking about big MPLS, DS3, T1 networks. We're talking about hundreds or thousands of locations that need a solid broadband connection with a very rigid SLA. And so we provide, that's a third product set of ours, and that is, managed services is booming like crazy. So when you have a chance to check out our website and see some of our clients, it's impressive. That's a huge growth sector for us. We're excited about it.
What's the URL for the website?
www.contingent.com.
Excellent. We're talking here at CommTel in Las Vegas with Drew Allgeier from Contingent. Drew, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.